Your dog may be suffering from depression right at this moment and you haven't even noticed. This is a reality that millions of pet owners around the world face without knowing. While we observe every physical change in our pets, we frequently ignore the emotional signs that can indicate silent and deep suffering. Canine depression is not just a bad phase or laziness. It is a real condition that affects the physical and emotional well-being of our four-legged companions. And here's the most concerning part. Many cases go completely unnoticed because we confuse the symptoms with normal aging behaviors or simple mood changes. Today, we will explore everything about depression in dogs. I will show you how to identify if your pet is suffering, what are the main causes that lead to this condition, and more importantly, how you can help your dog recover the joy of living. At the end of this content, you will have the necessary knowledge to recognize early signs and take the right measures to protect your best friend's mental health. Before we begin, please leave in the comments your name and the city where you are watching our content. Let's start by understanding what canine depression really is. Many pet owners confuse moments of sadness or apathy with true depression. This confusion happens because, just like in humans, there is a fundamental difference between being temporarily sad and developing a real depressive condition. Canine depression is a complex emotional disorder that involves chemical alterations in the animal's brain. When a dog is depressed, the neurotransmitters responsible for the feeling of well-being, such as serotonin, become unbalanced. This is not something the animal chooses or that passes quickly with a game or special treat. Dogs, being highly social and emotional animals, are surprisingly similar to us when it comes to processing traumas and significant changes. They form deep bonds, have routines that make them feel safe. And when these elements are intensely or prolongedly disturbed, they can develop genuine depressive symptoms. What makes this condition even more challenging is that many cases go unnoticed by pet owners. This happens because we interpret behavioral changes as signs that the dog is getting older, calmer, or simply having a bad day. We rarely consider that our pet may be facing an internal emotional battle. Now that we understand what canine depression is, let's explore the main causes that can lead our pets to develop this condition. Knowing these triggers is fundamental to prevent and identify warning signs early. Cause number 1, loss. When a dog loses their primary owner or an animal companion they lived with, the emotional impact can be devastating. Dogs do not understand death the same way we do, so they frequently keep waiting for the return of the beloved person or animal. This prolonged waiting, combined with the change in routine and family dynamics, can trigger a deep depressive condition. Cause 2, abrupt changes in environment or routine. This is a powerful trigger that can make the dog become depressive. A house move, changes in the owner's work schedule, arrival of a new family member, or even extensive renovations can cause enough stress to lead to depression. Dogs depend on predictability to feel safe, and when this security is threatened, they may react with depressive symptoms. Cause 3, lack of physical and mental stimulation. This is a frequently underestimated cause. Dogs that stay long periods alone, without adequate activities or social interaction, can develop depression from boredom and isolation. This is especially common in more active and intelligent breeds that need constant challenges to remain emotionally balanced. Cause number 4, diseases and chronic pain. This is a silent trigger that many pet owners don't consider. When a dog is suffering physically, especially with conditions that cause constant pain like arthritis, dental problems, or internal diseases, prolonged discomfort can lead to the development of depressive symptoms. The animal associates life with suffering and gradually loses interest in activities that previously brought pleasure. Recognizing signs of canine depression can be challenging because many symptoms are subtle and develop gradually. Let's explore the main indicators that should alert any attentive pet owner. One of the first noticeable changes happens with appetite and weight. Depressed dogs may either completely lose interest in food or develop compulsive eating behaviors. You may notice that your pet leaves their food untouched for hours, shows disinterest in favorite treats, or conversely, eats desperately as if trying to fill an emotional void. Apathy is another classic sign that deserves special attention. A dog that previously ran to the door when you picked up the leash now remains lying down and indifferent. Toys that previously sparked euphoria are abandoned in the corner. The lack of interest in activities that previously brought joy is one of the clearest indicators that something is emotionally wrong. Sleep alterations are also revealing. Some depressed dogs sleep excessively, spending most of the day in a lethargic state. Others develop insomnia, becoming restless during the night or waking frequently. Significant changes in sleep patterns always deserve investigation. The animal's social behavior also undergoes marked transformations. Naturally, sociable dogs may become isolated, avoiding interaction with family or other pets. On the other hand, some may develop behaviors of excessive attention-seeking, following the owner obsessively or demonstrating intense separation anxiety. There is a subtle sign that is frequently confused with normal laziness: the loss of natural curiosity. Healthy dogs are naturally curious about their environment. When they stop investigating new smells, sounds, or situations, this may indicate a depressive state that is affecting their motivation to explore the world. A crucial aspect that many pet owners neglect is the differentiation between depression and physical problems that can cause similar symptoms. This distinction is fundamental because proper treatment depends on an accurate diagnosis. The importance of a complete veterinary evaluation cannot be underestimated. Many medical conditions can cause symptoms that perfectly mimic canine depression. Thyroid problems, nutritional deficiencies, neurological diseases, and even some medications can significantly alter the animal's behavior and mood. Basic laboratory tests can rule out most physical causes that simulate depression. Complete blood count, biochemical profile, thyroid function evaluation, and urine tests provide valuable information about the animal's general health. In some cases, imaging tests like X-rays or ultrasound may be necessary to investigate hidden pain that may be causing behavioral changes. The role of behavior in diagnosis is equally important. An experienced veterinarian will observe not only the reported symptoms, but also how the dog interacts during the consultation. Response to stimuli, alertness level, and ability to engage socially provide valuable clues about whether symptoms have emotional or physical origin. The combination of detailed history, complete physical examination, and laboratory evaluation allows the professional to distinguish between genuine depression and medical conditions that require completely different treatments. Once a diagnosis of canine depression is established, there are several effective treatment and support strategies that can help your pet recover quality of life and joy of living. Physical activities represent one of the most powerful tools in treating canine depression. Regular exercise not only improves physical health, but also stimulates the release of endorphins, the natural well-being neurotransmitters. Daily walks, play sessions, and activities that physically challenge the dog can produce significant improvements in mood and disposition. Mental stimulation is equally crucial and frequently underestimated. Intelligence games, toys that gradually dispense treats, obedience training, and even hiding food around the house for the dog to search can reactivate the animal's interest in life. Environmental enrichment, which includes periodic changes in furniture arrangement or introduction of new safe objects for exploration, also contributes to combating apathy. Controlled socialization with other dogs and people can be extremely beneficial, especially for animals that have become socially isolated. This should be done gradually and respecting the animal's pace, starting with brief positive encounters that gradually increase in duration and intensity. Positive changes in routine and home environment can produce surprising results. This may include simple changes like repositioning the dog's bed to a location with more family movement, establishing fixed schedules for pleasurable activities, or creating special rituals that the animal can anticipate with joy. In more severe cases, behavioral therapy conducted by an animal behavior specialist may be necessary. These professionals can identify specific triggers and develop personalized behavioral modification protocols that address each dog's individual needs. When behavioral and environmental interventions do not produce sufficient results, the use of medications may be considered. Antidepressants specific for veterinary use, always prescribed and monitored by a veterinarian, can help restore brain chemical balance and facilitate the animal's emotional recovery. Prevention of canine depression is always preferable to treatment, and there are specific measures that every pet owner can implement to significantly reduce the risk of their pet developing this condition. The importance of maintaining a healthy routine cannot be underestimated. Dogs thrive with predictability, so establishing consistent schedules for feeding, walks, play, and rest creates a sense of security that protects against stress. Even small changes in routine should be introduced gradually whenever possible. Quality daily companionship and attention are fundamental for canine emotional health. This doesn't necessarily mean spending all time with the animal, but rather ensuring dedicated periods of meaningful interaction. A few minutes of focused play, petting sessions, or simply talking to the dog can strengthen the bond and provide necessary emotional security. The role of balanced nutrition in depression prevention is frequently underestimated. Specific nutrients, including omega-3 fatty acids, B-complex vitamins, and essential amino acids, directly influence the production of neurotransmitters related to well-being. An adequate diet not only maintains physical health, but also contributes to emotional stability. Regular preventive health care allows early identification and treatment of conditions that could evolve into causes of depression. Periodic veterinary consultations, up-to-date vaccinations, parasite control, and adequate dental care prevent the development of problems that could cause chronic pain or prolonged discomfort. Constantly reinforcing the owner-animal bond through shared activities, positive training, and quality moments together creates a solid emotional foundation that makes the dog more resilient to stressful situations that could trigger depressive episodes. We have reached the end of this knowledge journey about canine depression, and it is important to reinforce a fundamental truth. Yes, canine depression is absolutely real and deserves all our attention and care. It is not an exaggeration, it is not excessive humanization of pets. It is a legitimate medical condition that affects millions of dogs around the world. Taking care of your dog's mental health is not just an act of love, it is taking care of your own well-being too. When our pets are emotionally balanced and happy, the entire family dynamic improves. The connection between you strengthens and the quality of life for everyone involved rises significantly. The most important message you should take from this content is the importance of attentive observation and early action. Your dog cannot verbalize when they are suffering emotionally, so it is up to you to recognize subtle signs and seek professional help when necessary. Do not ignore persistent behavioral changes even if they seem small or temporary. Remember that each dog is unique, and what works for one may not work for another. Patience, consistency, and willingness to adapt strategies as needed are fundamental for successful treatment and prevention. Your proactive attitude can be the difference between years of silent suffering and a full and happy life for your four-legged companion. Observe your dog today. Implement the preventive strategies we discussed, and do not hesitate to seek professional help if something seems out of the ordinary. Share this knowledge with other pet owners, because the more people know about canine depression, the more dogs can receive the care and attention they deserve. Together, we can create a world where no pet needs to suffer in silence.